Welcome at Ask the Professor. I'm really happy that you are all available and also send some nice questions. I get more than 4, so great. Let's see what I can give feedback on your side and keep on going and also ask us as a team and also all the other students in this professional education. It's all helpful when you share all your knowledge and also your cases, because every country has its own habit or own culture, and that helps a lot to solve the problems we have today. So let's start with the questions. The first question of today was about what are the real things about changing hot and cold in relation with infra management. And of course you see in the lessons and in the courses what is really the cases, but that are just a few examples. We have more than that. For example, the toilets. When it is really freezing and you park in your train in the yard, what will happen in the night when it is really freezing like hell and you have no heating system on board? Then it will also be frozen and the toilets will not function anymore. Is that a problem? Of course it's a problem. And is that problematic? Yes, it is, because people cannot go to the toilet when it is in operation again. So we have really also other things what you have to take into account. So that's no problem, but there are much more things you have to take into account when you dealing with hot and cold. Not only to the real assets you see yourself, but also in combination. And that's what you have to focus on, and therefore we have this professional education line to understand and to see the system approach you really need to solve problems in the real operation world. The next question was about fatigue and wear. That's a lot we tell you about how it works and what is the balance in between. Like we have just tram railway, and you have like the heavy rail, we have what we are talking now, more or less. Then you also have the balance between fatigue, heavy rail, and the wear, because you have the sharp curves in the corner of the street. So that's always a balance, and that's really the issue we talk about, because that's really a high demanding on budget. That's really the impact you have when you have to deal with this. Is number one, you could say. Another one, as exactly what you said in the question, is resistance. Of course you can deal with resistance, and that's also the manager of the infra system or the rolling stock who has to deal with that, because he's the owner. But that's more or less on the second priority, because when you talk about resistance, that means it costs more effort, it costs more energy to go for that, and also it could be an indicator that it will be something wrong in the future, a failure later on. But that's another part, and that's not because we don't care, it's an other priority. But it is really really an issue you have to take into account. And you can, for example, look for the POS system when we see the resistance of the electrical motor who's switching the blades of the switch. And when there is more resistance, you need more power to go to the other side. And that's exactly what you can measure. And that could be a trigger when something is worn away or you have fatigue. So please look on the internet. The next question is about what is the role of the rolling stock or the infra manager's role for maintenance and renewal, etc. But that's, I would say, everything, because when you are the owner of your assets, you are responsible for your assets. So everything is important. But you could say what is more important than the other things, and that's depending on what is your philosophy and your vision, how to do your maintenance. And it's in all the countries, it's totally different. How to align, how to manage it. And that is not one answer is the right medicine. No, it's depending about your vision, your strategy. And for example, in Holland, we said, no, we of course, as infra manager, we are responsible, we have to manage it, but all the work which we have to do outside in the track has to be done by the contractors. So the contractors are thinking about, okay, what is the philosophy of the owner, the infra manager, the infra maintenance manager, and who and how we translate this into a contract, and we get paid for that. So that's the process in Holland, but I can imagine that in other countries we have many other things to think over and how to manage it. And that's culture, there's also history, but also maybe vision, because you need another way of maintenance. So maybe you could ask this to your colleagues in other countries. What is the difference when we look how we do it in Holland or in Europe? So let's see. The last question of today was really nice about stakeholders. Why not saying, okay, when we are the owner of the rolling stock, owner of the infra, Why not find one dedicated contractor to do all the job? Because that's easy. Just one phone call for the director, who is responsible for the work. You can steer very easily. But that could be a reason to do. But what we see in Holland, for example, and Europe, we have a European committee, and they push all the rolling stock or infra managers to find competition. And competition is not monopoly, like you suggested, to say, okay, we have one dedicated contractor who fits all, because then, yeah, that could be not in the right way, because you always get the same party on the same table every year. So is there enough competition? Is there maybe some efficiency you can gain? And that's exactly the case. So there is a law in Europe to say, no, you have to have multiple offers from multiple companies, contractors, and then you have to find the best solution for the task you ask. So that's regulated by law. So I don't know how it is regulated in other countries or parts of the world. Let's see, maybe you can have a debate on that. Thank you very much. I really enjoyed the questions. Think over in a system approach. That's exactly what I like to see, and also I like to bring back to you. Also deliberate with the other students. You can learn a lot from each other, even when you think I'm just a starting person in your career. No problem. Everybody has his own experience, and please share, so everybody will be gain from that and get more wise than just only follow these courses. So that's exactly what I like. Also, I like the questions, so please go on and send us the new versions and new questions you have in mind. I will be very glad to welcome and to give answers if I can. Let's see. See you next time. Keep on track.